Good morning. We're doing a little bit of adventuring out in San Luis Obispo. I got a cool little toy in the backpack, so we're gonna go hike out to some caves and see if we can get some cool shots.
Nude beach, that way. Caves, that way.
Let's go. Wait, where are you going? Hey, come back here. Stop looking at him.
He's like lotioning up. There he goes. Speedo's coming up. Speedo's out.
Okay, let's turn around. Let's go the other way. Quick detour, actually. Oh yeah, look at that.
Happy anniversary.
I think I'm gonna need a Band-Aid. So I guess this is what I get for hiking with like beach flip-flops. Like, I knew it was a bad idea, but you know how sometimes you're like, this is probably not a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Now I have many regrets. What are you looking at? Hi, Carrie.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Anyways, let's try that again. I got a few new goodies in my bag and we're in Idaho, I think? No, are we in Idaho? Are we in Montana? I think we're in Montana. It is beautiful here. So times like this, I just want to be able to fit everything into a little backpack like this and just go out into the middle of places like this. So I'm always looking for stuff that's nice and small and lightweight. This is a Gikoto X25 Defender. That's a fancy name for this tripod, like Defender. This was not necessarily the most lightweight one, but they had a lot of really good reviews on Amazon. I figured I'd give it a shot. But this one's cool because not only do you have this center column here, but you can get some extra height out of there, but you can also turn it to the side. I don't know exactly when I specifically would use this feature too much, but I know a lot of photographers that would. And also what's cool is I have this base plate on my camera, which is for the large Gorilla Pod heads, and this also fits onto here as well. So I could switch between this taller tripod and my Gorilla Pod without having to switch out that base plate. This is pretty good maximum height, huh? I'm 5'8" here and it's going over my head, so that's pretty good. And it just fold up pretty nice and small, so I've just been slinging it like that. But this definitely is featured packed. Like, for example, you could take off one of the legs and turn it into a monopod, but I am still on the search for the lightest weight tripod out there for if I'm doing a long, big hike. So let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments. I think there's a train coming. Quickly, pull out the drone. How fast can we get the drone up in the air? I need a flat surface. Oh, that was a pretty quick takeoff time. Let's go see if we can find this train. Oh, there it is, there it is.
Oh,
there we go.
that is so cool.
That's a huge train, holy crap. When's it gonna end? Well, that's pretty cool right there with the mountains in the back. And we got the Polar Pro filter on there right now. So we're getting the shutter at 150. So that should be pretty cool for the shutter. This looks awesome. See, right now the train's going backwards, but I'll just reverse that shot and it'll look like the train's going forward. That was good timing. Thanks for the heads up on the train. She heard it in the distance. Or choo-choo. She's like, get the drone out, pronto! So yeah, this is still my go-to drone. It's the Mavic 2 Pro. Shout out to Polar Pro for sending this out to me. It's a ND4, ND8, and a 16. Comes in a set of 3. But one of the things I'm most excited about right now is this new lens I got. It's a 20mm full frame lens. So it's a nice vlogging distance. I can hold the camera at this distance and I can still get a reasonable vlog shot. But what's crazy about it is that it goes to a 1.4. So I'll obviously need to adjust it with the ND filter I got right here. But look how blurry that background is. It's a wide angle lens, but it's an f1.4. That's pretty awesome. Look how soft that background looks. So this is just me if I were to walk around vlogging. Look at that shallowness. See, look, Carrie's like right behind me and she's out of focus. So this is a Sigma Art lens. It's definitely not cheap, but I don't believe there's much else like it out there right now. And there are definitely pros and cons to this lens that I'm already noticing, but why don't we take it around a little bit and see how it works. One of the things we really want to see is Aurora Borealis. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Aurora Borealis. The Northern Lights, basically. But seeing the Northern Lights is definitely a hit or miss. When I was in Iceland for a whole week, the goal was to see it, and we left without seeing it at all. This is like rock skipping heaven. Every rock here is a perfect rock to skip. Even this giant one, watch this. You guys like our rental car? It's pretty baller, right? It only has like 80 miles on it. It's brand new. We booked like the cheapest 4x4 vehicle and they were just like, here's a free upgrade. So yes.
Are you trying to get a Chevy sponsorship right now?
Yeah, Chevy. Chevy, sponsor me. Unless Jeep wants to sponsor me first. Whoa, this looks straight up like a scene from a commercial. See, Chevy, this already looks like a Chevy commercial right here. Look at this. This is like the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. It actually looks like a great photograph, but just with our eyes. We're in a city called Whitefish now, where we're staying for the next 2 days. This place is crazy. It's just so different from what we're used to back home. Where are all the skyscrapers? What is this? Are these like little teepees that people made? So people have been saying, watch out for the bears. They're starting to come out this season. So let's hope the title of this video is the f1.4 20mm lens, not how I got attacked by a bear. So first obvious downside of this lens is there is no image stabilization. So let me turn on the digital image stabilization on the camera just to smoothen things out a little bit. And there, hopefully that's a little bit better. And I don't have a Gorilla Pod or anything attached to this camera right now, which would help stabilize it a little bit more. But how's it look? Do you guys like how it looks at f1.4? Look how blurry Carrie is. If Carrie were to say anything, she'll just be like a blob in the background. Hi there.
Blob.
This is f1.4 right now, but my other lens is an f4, so if we were shooting with that, it would look a little bit more like that. So we can at least see a little bit of detail on Carrie's face. I can still walk next to you and I can get both of us in the shot and you're still somewhat in focus. But f1.4 is crazy. That's f1.4. I'm right next to you and you're all blurry. It's definitely a whole lot harder on the autofocus on the camera too, because it has to make all these micro adjustments to stay up, and sometimes it'll lock onto the wrong face. And if it's focused on Carrie, then I'm all blurry.
What would you do if you saw a bear out here?
Bears are tricky because there's black bears and brown bears, and I'm pretty sure that what you're supposed to do is the complete opposite depending on the type of bear. I can't ever remember which bear you're supposed to do what with. If a bear comes up, one of us will probably play dead and the other one will start making a bunch of noise and everything will be messed up. We should probably do research on what we're supposed to do. So, quick cutaway. According to the National Park Service, what do you do if you see a bear? You want to travel in big groups and you want to look big but stay calm, so you're gonna basically be like, oh my god, I just encountered a three-legged bear. Look, I'm a human. I am not a threat to you. Do not attack me. I'm big. And hopefully the bears don't attack you. But then if that bear's not having it and they start jacking you up, then you have to identify, is it a brown bear or a black bear? All right, so here's the part where it's tricky. If it's a brown or a grizzly bear, leave your pack on and play dead. So lay flat on your stomach with your hands behind your neck and spread your legs to make it hard for the bear to turn you over. And remain still until the bear leaves the area. Fighting back increases the intensity of the attack. I think you're a brown bear. Oh no, I'm getting attacked. However, if the attack persists, so if the bear continues to like cut you open, then fight back vigorously. So wait, what? So you're supposed to be like this for as long as you can, and then once you realize I'm almost dead, then that's when you're supposed to fight. What? Or carry bear mace. That sounds like the more reasonable answer. So that's with a brown bear. Then if it's a black bear, then do not play dead. Try to escape, find a car or something, and if that doesn't work, then fight back. So yeah, if watching this video helped you survive a bear attack, you can send me a postcard. I am so glad I have this lens right now because it actually looks so good. I'm all the way wide open at an f1.4 right now, and I'm utilizing it. In most cases, this f1.4 is a bit too much, but in some cases, like right now, it looks so good. And this lens is wicked sharp too. There are definitely a few downsides though. For one, the lens does protrude out, kind of like a fisheye lens. So if you're the type that likes to put on a UV filter to protect your lens, then you're out of luck here. And also the lens cap is one of these. It's not one of those flat ones that you could place on because again, the lens looks like a bubble. So it has become a little bit annoying to fit this bigger thing in my pocket opposed to a flat thin little lens cap. And since this thing protrudes out so much, you definitely want to keep it protected as much as possible, just because it's so exposed. Things could come up and scratch it. You could scrape it against something pretty easily. Probably one of the biggest issues is the fact that you can't just thread on like a 77 or 82 millimeter ND filter because of the way the lens is shaped. I actually shoot on the EOS R, so I do have my ND filter that sits in behind the lens. So if you happen to be shooting on one of the cameras that has internal ND filters, then this isn't going to be an issue. But I realize that most cameras don't have this option to throw this ND filter in behind. So that is one thing that is really nice about this Canon RF system, is that I have the option to just do that, and it is a variable, so I can just adjust it right here, and it's nice and easy. If you do want to put an ND filter in front of the lens, there are a few companies that do make ND filters specifically for this lens, but it's going to be much bigger. But a huge advantage of f1.4 is the spectacular low light capability of this lens. Like here, the fact that you can see is pretty awesome. This is my iPhone XS Max. It like doesn't see anything. And this also would have been the perfect lens to shoot the northern lights, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to see it. So one tip, don't travel somewhere and assume you're gonna be able to see the northern lights. Go to a place and hope you can see it. And if you see it, that's awesome.
It's
but
like chance, 100% like chance.
Exactly, and it's not very common. But if we were to see it, this would be a great lens because you get that super wide angle lens at an f1.4. Now, whenever we drive through one of these little towns, I'm always so curious on what goes on in this town. You know what I think would be really cool is to just go and live in a tiny town for a few months. Wouldn't that be cool? Would you be down for that?
Yeah.
Carrie has summer breaks, so maybe for one summer we'll just go and pick a random little town and just live there for a little bit. Just imagine how many dogs we could have if we lived out in one of these ranches.
Have a dog ranch.
I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that don't live the city life, and they're like, what are they talking about? This is just so normal. But to us, it's really interesting. Check that out. Population of 1,044. It's very specific. You think they have to update the sign every time someone moves out? Anyways, we're heading back today. This has been an awesome trip, and this lens, I'm digging it. One final thing is the sound it makes when you shift focus. So I do have a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, I think is what it's called, on there right now. And you can kind of hear it every time the focus shifts. So here, I'll let you listen. And here, if I just use the onboard microphone that's on the camera, then you're gonna hear it even more. So here's that. So yeah, if you're running internal audio, that's probably gonna get a little annoying. It's not the quietest lens I've ever heard, but at the same time, it's not the loudest lens I've ever heard either. It's kind of right there in the middle where you can hear it, but it's not terribly loud. Anyways, thanks for coming on this little journey with us. Let's read some comments from my last video, which was all about the slider by Edelkrone. Top comment was from Josh Haynes. That moment you realize 3 more inches makes a huge difference. Those are the blacklisted words from this channel, is up in inches. If I say any number and then inches after that, immediately you guys turn into a bunch of perverts. So thanks, guys. Damn, this actually looks really sexy. Man, I've already spent too much money on my credit card. Stop. That's what I do. Convince you guys to max out credit cards. And this lens is only like $1,000 bucks, but it's awesome. There's not much else like it. I mean, there's the Canon 24mm L series 1.4, but those 4mm, oh no, I gotta stop saying measurements of anything. But that 4mm difference makes a difference. Damn it. I'm gonna get it again in the comments. The Gap Pack family says, I watched your Udemy class and it was the best 2.5 hours I spent this year. Please make another one and make it very long. First of all, thanks to everyone that took my course and also rating it so high that I got the little top rated banner on the website. I'm very proud of that little badge. I never got a college diploma, but that's close enough. The top rated banner, I like it. Techie Ty says, can you do a video where you run through some of the professional videos you've done for clients? That's definitely one I wanna do. It does get a little bit tricky in the commercial side of things because there are a lot of NDAs that get signed. Bigger the project that companies gets, less you're allowed to talk about it publicly. So I'm looking for that fine line project where I can shoot a commercial but still bring you guys along with me and talk about everything we did. For example, I've never really worked with Apple, but I know their contract for working with them is really intense. And by the way, NDA stands for non-disclosure agreement. So if you sign it, it says you're not allowed to talk about this thing. I have been doing a lot of projects for Boeing and I am trying to get some footage out of that I'm I'm allowed to show, but most of it is classified. I'm working with their government division. You got to film their F-15s, F-18s, Apache helicopters. I'm not allowed to show any of that footage though. Oh, I did recently direct a music video for Pepe Aguilar, phenomenal Latin artist, but I do have a lot of behind the scenes footage from that, and I believe I'm allowed to share that. So maybe I'll make a little video about shooting music videos. That could be kind of interesting, right?